Frieren is something special. Something about it has grasped the internet and has made it stand out above the other amazing shows. Since the airing of Season 1 in March 2024, it has stood at the top of my anime list. It has stood at number 1 highest rated, beating out the classic Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood that has solidified itself at that spot for many years. But what about Frieren has changed this? And what made it resonate with so many people? Frieren tackles many classic tropes and themes, and it does them all very well. But I think the subversion of the tropes it uses are what makes it very interesting. Along with having very likable characters and a core message everyone can resonate with, coupled with a great narrative and character development, it's easy to see why it would appeal to so many people. With a fantasy setting, it's very familiar to the audience that has consumed a similar medium. And the audience would know what to expect, like elves, dragons, dwarves, magic, wizards, and all those kind of things. Kanehito Yamada uses this familiarity to better flesh out the world. With this magic system, she adds aspects of science and understanding to give it a bit more meaning than it's just magic, and makes it a little more grounded and believable, all while keeping the sense of the mysticism of magic. But I feel the best use of the settings is with its characters. Frieren is very much a character-driven show, and it uses its characters and the subversion of them to explore the story's themes incredibly well. Given a party of heroes, you would expect a tank, a healer, a mage, and of course, a party leader. With these roles, you would have a good idea of what type of characters would fill those positions. Yamada uses that expectations and turns it on its head. You see, with the party of heroes as an example, you would expect Himmel, the hero, to be selfless and kind, which he is, but he's also very vain and childish. Heiter, the healer or priest of the party, he's a holy man, but he indulges in sins like drinking and gambling. Aizen is the warrior or the tank of the group as well. He's very stoic, as you would expect, but he's very open with his fear, and he trembles before strong opponents.
You afraid?
Yes. Being afraid isn't a bad thing.
Didn't take much to get that out of you.
Without fear, I wouldn't have made it this far.
Giving these characters flaws make them more relatable and believable. And with every character, there's a theme to be explored. Kanehito Yamada uses Frieren being an elf with her long lifespan to explore loss and grief. With Frieren's long life as an elf, she has never paid any attention to many humans not ever getting too attached to someone because she knows that they would just be a small part of her life. Frieren never knew what she had until she lost it. Frieren shows loss, not as sudden tragedy, but as slow realization. She will outlive everyone, and only after their deaths will she know what they meant to her. The story frames loss as something you often don't fully realize until it's too late. Her regrets become a quiet motivator for her new journey. Using her experience with Himmel, she moves forward to change. Not wanting to have the same regrets, she spends time to get to know the people around her. So in the memory of Himmel, she adventures again with a new party and makes an active effort to get to know Fern and Stark. There is more to be said about the message the other characters carry as well, like how Himmel wasn't able to pull the true hero sword, but still being able to defeat the Demon Lord, showing how one doesn't need external validations or special equipment to show the world that they are truly capable of doing things no one has ever done before. But my favorite is that of Stark, with his message of confidence and self-worth. Growing up surrounded by his much more talented older brothers, he has never felt like he had a place in his home village, only ever being shown kindness by his eldest brother and the strongest of the village.
Then, of course, there's your brother, our family's great shame. Despite the intense training he does every day, he's too much of a weakling to stand against the monster.
I was the failure.
These feelings of inadequacy and never being enough manifest into fears of failure, scared that he isn't able to protect anyone. But it's that same fears that kept him alive. When his village was attacked by demons, Stark was the only survivor because his eldest brother and his other families sacrificed themselves to give Stark an opportunity to escape. Although Stark may not have been the most talented, he worked the hardest to make up for it. It all pays off when he finally stands his ground and learns what he is truly capable
The
of.
two of us parted in anger. My body moved on its own. I feel terrible. I'm forever sorry for what I did. I was afraid. I was afraid of the boy, Frieren. I couldn't believe his power. My apprentice will become a great warrior.
I find myself relating to Stark's stories a lot. As I'm the youngest in my family, I wasn't given as many resources as my older siblings. And in school, I was never really gifted with any talents in sports, nor was I ever the smartest person in the class. Later, I would discover that none of that ever mattered, and that I could achieve anything I dreamed of if I worked hard enough for it. There are many stories like this in real life with sports athletes or successful people, musicians, and there might be someone you look up to as well that has a similar success story. What I've come to find out is that everyone, every person, and every individual has so much potential to truly be whatever they wanted. Passion and discipline goes a long way to make dreams a reality. Stark shows me that you don't need to be special or the most gifted, but if you truly strive to be better, to make progress towards a goal day after day, that one day you will see the fruits of your labor. The consistency you put in today will set you up for tomorrow. But what I like about this is that there's not much exposition or narrations for these characters. Instead, the audience gets information by the characters themselves by interacting with the world or other characters. Frieren with Qual, for example, we learn from Frieren how Qual was sealed and why, as well as the breakdown of his magic and how humans have evolved to counter it, giving us more information on world building and how the magic system works at the same time. It never takes you out of the moment and keeps the audience interested. And this is what the show does great as well. Frieren isn't just beautifully animated or cleverly written, it's a reminder of why stories matter in the first place. It shows us that even in familiar fantasy worlds, the smallest gestures can echo across a lifetime, and that people we meet shape us long after they're gone. Through its quiet moments, its flawed yet lovable characters, and its reflection on regret, growth, and connection, Frieren proves that a story doesn't need to be allowed to be perfect. It only needs to be honest. Maybe that's why it resonated so deeply with so many of us. Because in watching, Frieren learns to cherish the time she once overlooked. We're encouraged to look a little closer at our own lives and the people walking beside us.